What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Yeah. Did we do this? No, he got on something different. Storm Radio. Hey, what's up? Shout out to Gigi. I should say shout out to Gigi first, or maybe I should leave her for last. But anyway, I'm learning this stuff, man. I guess that's Jaguar Wright at the bottom. Angie Stone's death report is full of lies. Jaguar Wright exposed the truth. You got Storm Radio. Shout out to Storm Radio, man. We talked on the phone for a long time, man. Great brother, wise brother, and I gave him some tips on doing YouTube, and we sat back and talked, man. And he's a veteran in the radio world, you know. He was telling me about the Quiet Storm, the name of the Quiet Storm. He owns the name of Quiet Storm. Go away in my life. Don't sue me for singing the Quiet Storm. Don't sue me. Don't sue me, Storm. Because I know I got that perfect pitch, right? You know, I sing it better than the Quiet Storm people, right? Anyway, rest in peace to Angie Stone's Storm and Gigi. I don't know how old Gigi is, but me and Storm definitely is feeling it, because we grew up on wanting to get, me personally, I wanted to get into the music industry. I wanted to do music because of people like Angie Stone's back in the day. It's the one that piqued my interest on this music with that funk you right on up. The first female rap group. She was in the first female rap group, man. And when that song hit the airs, good gracious. So Storm, did you play her music on your radio station? Hey, y'all hit that subscribe button, man. Hit that bell. Let me give the Messy Sweet Spot thumbs up. This supposed to be like this. And let's check it out.
I think that they should have been.
Here we go.
Somebody dropped the ball on this report, because first of all, they shouldn't have been two. Well, I don't think there should have been two reports. I think that there should have been one report, and everything was there. But we have two different reports. Why? It's like they're making it look like it was two different accidents.
Exactly.
I don't know what happened to Angie Stone, but was she ejected from a car? I don't think so. Did she die in this accident? I don't believe so. Was she trapped under a truck? Hell no. No. Did she?
Just reverse your picture, because I'm showing you from the camera. So when the truck hits it, it's coming right here, hits the van right in the front by the front wheel. It spins it.
Yep.
So that the van's driver windshield is now facing the opposite direction of the highway.
Direction of the highway, right.
Okay. Now, as the truck keeps going, when it passes the vehicle, he's hit his brakes, and his brakes cause him to slurve over into the other side of the highway.
There we go.
All right. Now, so the truck could not have ran her over. The van would have had to land either on top or knocked her to the side somewhere. But the missing part of that explanation is, you see that's the passenger side that's up in the air, not the driver's side. That is the passenger side. So if the passenger side is up and she's in the seatbelt, the only way that could happen is it knocked her out of the window, out of the seatbelt. The EDR box is going to prove that 100% that it happened that way.
It had to have happened that way.
Because the only way they could extract the body or extract the person from that van at that point was that they go out the rear door, or they go out the doors to the side. The passenger to the side. But
and they have to go up
from the top.
They have to go up.
But in that particular model, all the seats are like in rows, like a regular van. Row 1, row 2, row 3, and I think maybe a fourth row, because it seats 15. So That's how it is. This is the fact right here.
And then I would like to think, first of all, if she was ejected, if she got stuck under a truck, she wouldn't be recognizable, because you have to remember the force of that's going to do some major damage. They would not have had an open casket. You would not be probably having a funeral that quick, because they would have multiple autopsies. That becomes something different at that point.
See, that's the just part.
Yeah.
That part right there, puzzle. That's exactly the same way I feel. How could they release the body that fast if that happened? You know, because now you drew blood from the driver of the truck, and you drew blood from Lethal. So you gotta wait for toxicology reports to come back on everybody, the deceased and them.
And
and
furthermore, if that trucker has something to do with it, he may be missing right now, but if you look at the pictures, he stopped. The cops were on the scene. If she was pinned on his truck, he'd be in the car. Like, you don't let somebody leave. He would have been booked. You would have seen a.
He would have been in the police car. Now that's how they're depicting. They're depicting that the van was in the speed lane, hanging out, and turned over. That baffles me right there. That how in the world was the van, the front end or the rear end, was hanging out onto the freeway? How? That's kind of impossible. That's kind of impossible for the 18-wheeler to have hit either the rear end of that van or the front end of that van and spinning around, or hit it at 71 miles per hour. If it's hanging on the freeway, it would not have flipped that van 3 times. That van is too top heavy to have flipped, and there's no damage to the top end.
And I'm on a podcast. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, once again, with Angie, it still could be the possibility that she was not wearing a seatbelt. And that could have had something to do with why, she could have been flying around in the van. I mean, that's what I honestly believe. I just think that the driver fell asleep and ran off the side of the road and flipped, and that tractor trailer was coming like southbound while they were going northbound, or vice versa. And it caught the truck. It rolled down the embankment and hit the truck.
No, she don't have a Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket of chicken up there, y'all. Side note. Y'all know, my team, my people, my fans, y'all know Uncle Mike can tear up some Kentucky Fried Chicken, baby. That's my joint. So shame on you for having that bucket of chicken, but where's that big bucket for $20? Shoot, I need to go. Girl, you got me hungry right about now.
Ran off the side of the road and flipped, and that tractor trailer was coming like southbound while they were going northbound, or vice versa. And it caught the truck. It rolled down the embankment and hit the truck. That's what I think happened to her. And that's a common accident that happens to a lot of people, because then I was looking at the temperature, like the weather. It was 62 degrees during the day, but it was like 46 degrees at night. So more than likely, the heat was probably on the van. Who knows, after they left that venue, if some, they got something to eat and they was feeling good, and the driver could have been drowsy and just fell asleep behind the wheel. It happens a lot. It's a common accident.
Hey, Jaguar is speaking out, and she says that those reports are full of lies. She does not believe the police report about Angie Stone. And I want to know, do you guys believe all these police reports about Angie Stone? If you do, press 2. If you do not, press 5. Because Jaguar, she's been telling the truth and nothing but the truth. And she said it is bull crap. She is giving us some insiders what she feels was really going on with Angie Stone. I think you guys need to listen to this. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe here at the Messy Sweet Spot. Let's react to see what Miss Jaguar Wright has to say about Angie Stone.
After being blackballed and ostracized, I think she was starting to figure out that her home had been breached. 3 months later, she died. And she died on her son's birthday.
So sad.
On her son's birthday.
Angelo. It was full of...
Child, I know they hate to see Jaguar Wright coming, but you know what? She's already here, and y'all can bet she has some pretty strong opinions about what happened to Angie Stone. Well, I will tell you this. Jaguar certainly believes that it's no coincidence that Angie Stone died literally weeks after putting the same people she has been calling out for decades on blast.
As I was coming through all of this, I soon found out that one of the biggest companies that I was with, Universal Music, it's the second part of the ugly truth. We began to research things to check on my royalties and my statements and things that of that nature, only to find out a lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen.
I know we were just hoping that Angie Stone's death would be an innocent accident, but given everything that is coming up, it's looking very fishy, y'all. And just so you know how sketchy this whole thing is, there was a witness who claimed they assisted someone, potentially Angie Stone, immediately after the van's initial crash. And this individual described a scenario consistent with the two collision narrative presented by ALEA, highlighting the chaos of the scene when the 18-wheeler struck the van Angie was in. But right now, nobody can find the video of that witness on her TikTok, but I did a bit of digging and found it.
Here's the story. About 4 a.m. on Saturday morning, me and my daughter were driving to Charleston, South Carolina for her Sweet 16 birthday getaway. We came up to a truck with a trailer and its flashers were on, so we slowed down some, and that's when I noticed there was an overturned vehicle in the fast lane. And it looked like it just happened. I pulled over, put my flashers on, and I told my daughter to stay in the car, and I ran over. It was a van, and I ran over, and there were so many people in this van, and they were just trying to get out. And I asked if they'd called the cops, and they said, we're just trying to get out. And they were helping this woman out off the side of the van, and I grabbed her hand, and I helped her get down, and she seemed out of it, and I was holding her hand, and she was wobbling around, and I said, baby, you got to sit down. And then the next thing I know, I flew, and I fell down to the ground, and it felt like something not ran over me, but brushed over me. Like something just swiped over my body. And I got up, and I could hear screaming, and I just focused in on one screaming, and it was my daughter.
So why did she delete the video? Was she threatened? And is the witness even okay? Or is this whole situation a sacrifice, just like Jaguar said? Well, we've also had Tyler Perry doing an entire sermon on how Black artists deserve to be paid what they are worth in light of the death. And Monique being like, sir, am I a joke to you? Baby, a lot has been going on, and I hope you are seated. Okay, based on reports about what happened, Angie was riding in the back of a van to Atlanta from Alabama when it flipped over and was subsequently hit by a big rig, and everyone else in the cargo van survived except Angie. The Alabama Highway Patrol said in a news release that the 2021 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van turned over on Interstate 65 at about 4:25 a.m. Saturday, March 1st, before being hit by a 2021 Freightliner Cascadia truck driven by a 33-year-old man from Texas. The Sprinter driver and 7 others in the van were taken to Baptist Medical Center for treatment, but Angie was pronounced dead on the scene. I mean, at first glance, it looks like it was just an accident, right? Well, in the days following Angie Stone's tragic passing, different narratives began to circulate on social media platforms, raising questions about the circumstances surrounding her death. Some posts suggested that there was no 18-wheeler involved, and others claimed that the accident was staged. Other posts also speculated that the passengers of the van might be hiding the truth about the incident, implying that Angie Stone had not died in the crash as reported. But you know what people like Jaguar have been suggesting? That the death definitely had something to do with Angie exposing Universal Music Group. Now, Angie's connection to Universal Music Group stems from her role as a songwriter for MCA, which she began in 1990. MCA Inc. is the parent company of MCA Records that was rebranded as Universal Studios Inc. in 1996, with its music division becoming Universal Music Group. She was signed to MCA Universal as a songwriter and formed the R&B trio Vertical Hold under their umbrella. But in the weeks leading up to her death, Angie had discovered that UMG had been stealing from her for decades, and she even did a video explaining the situation. She went into detail about the misappropriation of her earnings over a career spanning more than 4 decades. At the beginning of the video, she talked about how she was battling a severe blood infection that forced her to pause her touring schedule and seek immediate medical attention. And during her 2-week recovery under intensive care, Angie said she discovered the concerning irregularities in her financial records. Then she dropped the bombshell that a lot of her publishing, her royalties, and her mechanicals have all pretty much been stolen by UMG. Angie said that after being in the business for 40-something years, she wondered where her royalties were going, as she wasn't receiving them. She then discovered that Universal Music had been receiving all her royalties and mechanicals, and that they had taken pretty much everything. In her candid video, she expressed profound disappointment with what she perceived as both negligence and deliberate financial misconduct.
A walking testimony that God has carried me all this time, because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly.
Damn, man.
But there are key people that have been driving the ships. And what they've been doing is improperly representing me, improperly stealing from me, taking things in their own hand, changing and switching lanes because they knew I didn't know that part. See, I'm not an attorney. I don't know everything. What I learned how to do was go out, work hard, get paid, come home, pay my bills, take care of my family. That part. The legal side, when you hire attorneys and managers and agents, they're supposed to make sure the gray area over there, that they're in the driver's seat for.
She also said that she was doing whatever was necessary to ensure UMG paid her for her life's work, for her children and for her grandchildren. She also further alleged that proper registration procedures for her songs had been neglected, and she claimed there were several class action suits over her songs that were never properly registered by the companies she signed them over to. In addition, she also said that she had a team looking into what she believed she was owed, and she warned future artists about the twists and turns of the industry.
It's here to let you know, one way or the other, Universal Music, you're going to have to give up my coins. And so what I'm doing now is whatever is necessary to make sure they pay me for the legacy of my life, for my children and my grandchildren. They're going to have to give me my money. I mean, when you sit back and think Bruno Mars, Dr. Dre, when you think about all these people that have sampled music, if they're filthy rich on it, what's our problem? Or my problem? Oh, yeah. So you got to get a diesel crew, and I call them a diesel crew, to go in and rectify the issue.
Now ask yourselves this. Now that Angie Stone is dead, who do you think is following up on the money that UMG owes her? Do you think her children or other family members will have the strength to go after UMG? It's very likely this case will just disappear somewhere down the road. And what Jaguar and others are saying is that this is exactly what UMG wants to happen. So Jaguar was talking about a show she was once supposed to do with Angie, and she said that they were considering canceling the show because of the weather. But then she said that Angie told her that they would do the show regardless because that is just who she was. She then said that she believes that Angie Stone's death was a sacrifice, and she mentioned that Angie was moved around in real time on her son's birthday. Jaguar Wright also mentioned that Angie Stone was robbed not so long ago, and also referenced that Angie Stone was going to sue UMG for stealing from her. Again, this has raised quite a few questions, like what was stolen from her house? How far did she manage to go with the UMG case? Did they have anything to do with the burglary or the death? Well, Jag certainly believes that there was foul play, just like many other people. Personally, I'd want to believe that this was just an accident, but clearly y'all don't think it was. And like I mentioned earlier, there was also a witness who claimed they assisted someone, potentially Angie Stone, immediately after the van's initial crash. This individual described a scenario consistent with the two collision narrative presented by ALEA, highlighting the chaos of the scene when the 18-wheeler struck. But the fact that she deleted the video after finding out it was Angie was also sus. So did she receive a threat warning her to take down the video? I mean, it was an innocent, true account. So why would she pull it down?
I looked up and there was an 18-wheeler there to cross the median into the other, into oncoming traffic. And I knew that's what hit me and ran over, and brushed over me was the 18-wheeler. And my daughter's freaking out. She'd already called my husband by then and my father-in-law. And I just told her, we've got to get to the hospital. I can't breathe. It was so hard to breathe. I'm going to post a video of the 18-wheeler after I left the hospital, driving back through to get to my husband and my son.
So it sounds like to me that she's insinuating, and this is all what I'm getting out of this. It sounds like she's saying that what brushed over her was that 18-wheeler crossing over that medium and striking Angie Stone. I'm trying to not put the S on the end. So apparently she didn't see it. That's why she keeps saying this wind, because she didn't see the truck come in. Her or Angie probably had their back turned and the truck hit her. I'm assuming that she's trying to say the truck actually hit Angie while she was out of the car, out of the van. And apparently her daughter witnessed it. Her daughter seen that truck coming and hit that girl, and she screamed and went crazy. That's what I'm getting out of this. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all thinking, because right in this area right here, she's saying
on the video, I mean, it was an incident.
That's what hit me and ran over.
Why would she pull it down?
I looked up.
And
there was an 18-wheeler there to cross the median into the other, into oncoming traffic. And I knew that's what hit me and ran over. And
that's what hit me and ran over. No, that's the wind that hit you. You said the wind. So make up your mind. It's hard to get facts out of people that just posted. These are everyday people. They haven't been through no classes like I've been through classes. And I still can't get my stuff together. I'm old. But listen though.
I looked up.
Uh-huh.
And there was an 18-wheeler there to cross the median into the other, into oncoming traffic. And I knew that's what hit me and ran over. And brushed over me was the 18-wheeler.
Brushed over me.
And my daughter's freaking out. She'd already called my husband by then and my father-in-law. And I just told her, we've got to get to the hospital. I can't breathe. It was so hard to breathe. I'm going to post a video of the 18-wheeler after I left the hospital, driving back through to get to my husband and my son. I will not be posting the vehicle in the video because somebody did pass away. They did. And I won't be posting that for respect for their family.
This death has also brought some wounds to the surface for some people like Monique, who took to IG to criticize Tyler Perry's tribute. In case you missed it, Tyler Perry delivered a powerful eulogy at Angie Stone's memorial, blending heartfelt tribute with sharp critique of the music industry's exploitation of artists. While speaking before a grieving audience, he honored Angie while condemning the systemic injustices that denied her and so many others the financial rewards they deserved.
Y'all gotta forgive me because I'm angry at the way she was treated. I did not know all the things that she was going through. Recently, I found out because I'm not on Instagram. I'm not being hooked and manipulated by an algorithm telling me what to think and how to feel. So I don't see everything.
And it's funny, when he said that, I immediately was thinking, oh, you're not hooked on us. Algorithm telling you what to think like we are. So just because we like, I don't know, Instagram and social media, YouTube, and I'm talking about us doing YouTube, and I'm talking about everybody who watch YouTube. So we hooked on a algorithm telling us what to do. That right there didn't sit well with me when he said that. Not even to mention what you did to Monique in that Precious and I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Oprah or Tyler job was to take money out of their wallet or purse to give to Monique. That's not how it should work. But if that's your bottom line, these millionaires, and Monique is over there struggling, and she did a hell of a good job on that movie. Y'all should have did something or told them that we boycott, and y'all just kicked her to the curb. That ain't cool.
Angry at the way she was treated. I did not know all the things that she was going through. Recently, I found out because I'm not on Instagram. I'm not being hooked and manipulated by an algorithm telling me what to think and how to feel. So I don't see everything. But to think that this woman was in the business for all of these years, and there's a difference between performing because you want to and performing because you have to. All of those years, all of those songs, all of that money that was owed to her, where is it? It's wrong. It is wrong. And I'm tired of seeing us struggle and go through things and work hard and not reap the benefits of what we were supposed to reap.
So Tyler Perry spoke not just as a filmmaker and media mogul, but as someone who had seen the industry's inner workings. He said he understood the toll it took on artists like Angie Stone, whose music shaped generations, but whose earnings never reflected her impact. During his speech, he even referenced Angie Stone's song $20, a haunting reflection on financial hardship. The lyrics spoke to the very struggle she faced creating timeless art while barely making ends meet. He used the song as a metaphor for the broader issue, reminding the audience that Angie Stone's story was not unique, and that countless artists, particularly Black ones, have been denied rightful earnings while corporations profit from their work. But you know what? Monique was like, sir, you really need to look in the mirror because the things you are condemning are the same things you did to me. In a post, she first offered her condolences to Angie Stone's family. Then she took some time to share her grievances with Tyler Perry, saying his speech struck a chord with her and her husband, Sydney. She responded with 4 points, saying, you expressed anger over Angie's mistreatment, yet you labeled me difficult to work with despite never having worked with me. How can you condemn the poor treatment of others when you've imposed the same on me? We have audio of you admitting you were wrong. You asked, where's the money she's owed? Well, where's my public apology that you promised in 2016? The false narrative you perpetuated helped blackball me, costing me tens of millions. You mentioned being tired of us not receiving the benefits we deserve, yet you asked me to promote Precious for free, without a contract or compensation, which highlights your double standard. You said we should be careful in how we treat children of God. As a man of faith, where is your responsibility to act with love and truth? You promised me an apology years ago, but it's yet to come. Unlike the music industry, which you rightly criticized, we have audio documentation of your actions. Shouldn't you be held accountable too? In closing, I hope your words at Angie's funeral inspire you to correct the wrongs done to my family and me. You have the power to do so. As you shared biblical teachings, please remember, what will it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? Mark 8:36. We await your response. With love and respect, Monique and Sydney. Child, the heat. Well, I doubt Tyler Perry is going to respond. But do you think it was proper for Mo to bring this up at such a time? Also, what do you think of all these theories that are making rounds about Angie's death? Is it giving sacrifice? Sound off in the comment.
I want to know your thoughts about this, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.
I would love to know y'all comments on, I don't think it was no bad timing. I don't think it was bad timing for Monique to say, I thought it was perfect timing because, you know, rest in peace to Angie Stone, no matter what you say or do, it's not going to bring her back. But I know one thing, Monique was done wrong. Steve Harvey didn't help at all either. When he brought on the show for an interview, that was kind of letting me know that she about to get 100% blackballed. Hey, y'all let me know in the comments, man, how y'all feel, man. I would love to know this. And I'm gonna tell y'all like this. I really think that something is real fishy around this whole Angie Stone death, because I don't understand how in the world nobody's coming out saying this is what happened, like officials. So that's weird right there, man. So hey, y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.